Myles Garrett trade rumors are back, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to break it down here on Chicago Bears Now. Could the Bears try to make a splash for the best defensive player in the NFL? We will certainly discuss and get you caught up on the latest. I'll just ask you, if you want Myles Garrett in Chicago, hit that like button. Hit that like button. And if you don't, let us know in the comment section why you do not. I think we're going to get a lot of likes on this video. Let's get into it here on Chicago Bears Now. I'm Harrison Graham. This is Chicago Bears Now by Chat Sports. Myles Garrett, is he frustrated again with the state of the Cleveland Browns? Couldn't really blame him if he is. He kind of dropped a subliminal message on Instagram after the news on Thursday regarding the Cleveland Browns. And let's just kind of get you caught up on what happened. It was announced that the Browns are hiring Todd Monken as their head coach, which publicly was a bit of a surprise. Most people thought it would either be Jim Schwartz or Nathan Scheelhaase, the OC or the pass game coordinator for the Rams. They are going with Monken. And then there was some fallout from not promoting Jim Schwartz from Schwartz himself. This is Tom Pelissero saying that after the Browns informed Schwartz this morning they were passing him over to hire Todd Monken as head coach, Schwartz was visibly upset, said goodbyes in the building, and told other coaches he's not coming back. Sources tell the insiders Schwartz is under contract and Cleveland wants to retain him, but his future is now unclear. There was also reports of he basically told the Browns to go F themselves. He was not happy. He said he will not return. Now, could that change? You know, the Browns could try to hold him hostage with the contract. We'll see. Cleveland wanted both, right? They wanted to hire an offensive head coach and convince Jim Schwartz to stay as defensive coordinator. This is something we talked about on my other channel, 4 Verts. They're trying to thread that needle, and clearly Schwartz was not having it. He wanted to be the guy, and the Browns have said no. So why are we talking about this on Chicago Bears Now? Well, Myles Garrett, who reportedly really likes Jim Schwartz, who has been frustrated before with the Browns, tweeted out the classic Popeyes worker who's exhausted, or tweeted out Instagram story of just like, oh, here we go again. Brown's going to Brown, which for what it's worth, I would not have promoted Jim Schwartz. But maybe he's just upset that Schwartz wants to leave now, whatever the case may be. We don't know for sure what Myles Garrett could be signaling, but we know that he's been upset before to the point where he literally requested a trade last year. We'll talk about that. I think it is Schwartz related, though, because this was Myles Garrett back on January 2nd when this kind of coaching search started. He said, I like Jim. I like the coaches that we have, so I don't know what's going to be in the future. Would I like to play under Jim? Would I like to keep the team and for us to improve? Absolutely. But these are things that are handled by people who sign my checks, so they make bigger decisions than I can account for. So I'm going to allow them to do what they do, give my opinions if they ask for it, and I got to rock with whoever they have here. But I love Jim, and I love playing for him. It is January 29th as we are filming this. Do not forget, a year ago, come February 3rd, Myles Garrett requested a trade, did the interview rounds at Radio Row at Super Bowl 59, and was like, I want out. And eventually, the Browns made him the highest paid player, non-quarterback in the league, and so he decided to stay. They were terrible as a team, even though he was arguably the best overall player in the league, setting the NFL sack record with 23 this year. And look, regardless of what that message means, he's tired of losing. We've seen it. We've seen it. He said it last year. He's like, I want to go to a winner. And, you know, he decided not to turn down $160 million. Can't blame him. But can't also be upset if you're too upset if you're Myles Garrett. Like, you signed the contract. You didn't have to do that. But from a Bears perspective, could Myles Garrett ask out again? Would Cleveland be willing to trade him now that they're going with Todd Monken and a new offensive coach? Like, you know, peak trade value for Garrett, it's never going to be higher because he's north of 30, just set the sack record. Like, his value's not going to go up as time goes on. So could a team like the Bears say, hey, we'll make a huge offer for Myles Garrett, and would Cleveland consider it? I don't know. We're going to talk about what an offer could look like coming up here in just a few moments. Should the Bears trade for Myles Garrett? I want to hear from you guys down in the comments section below. Type Y for yes, or you can type in for no. Let me know on today's video. Coming up, we will explore what a Bears Myles Garrett trade could look like. We'll talk about the financials as well, which is very important from both teams. You know, how much would the Bears take on the Browns, etc. So we will get into all of that. But first, I want to tell you guys about our awesome sponsor. It is PrizePicks. The big game, it's almost here, and there's no better way to cash in during America's biggest sporting event than with PrizePicks, where it always feels good to be right. And since the big game is right around the corner, it also means it's your last chance to get into the football action before next season. Can't believe it flies by. So close the season out right with PrizePicks by getting $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. Awesome new feature, early payouts. If your lineups get off to a hot start, you may now have the option to cash out those winnings before the game even finishes. PrizePicks also offers injury reboots. If one of your players gets hurt in the first half and does not return, PrizePicks will not count it as a loss. I got a little 3-player lineup for the big game. They're offering a special deal, half a passing yard for Drake May. You take more on that, obviously. You need to pick at least one other player, up to 6-player lineups. I got a 3-player here. I like JSN to score and Ramondre Stevenson to score as well. That's a demon play. With the Drake May deal right there, you can only do a $10 lineup. That's the max. So $10 to win $42.50 on this 3-player lineup. Download the PrizePicks app today. Use our code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks. Feels good to be right. Okay. Could the Chicago Bears actually do this? Could they trade for Myles Garrett? Well, nothing's impossible. The NFL has become, honestly, in some ways, a bigger transactional league than even like the NBA or Major League Baseball. There's surprising trades every single offseason. So I'll explore kind of all the angles here. But let's just kind of get caught up on Garrett's contract. So his current cap hit for next year for Cleveland is $23.7 million. That's pretty reasonable for the Browns, right? Now, the dead money is over $40 million if they were to trade him. He is going to get a $29 million option bonus on March 25th, which if they traded him before then, I think would fall on the new team in terms of cash flow. It wouldn't impact the cap, but it would impact the cash flow of who owes that money. Maybe if a trade were to happen, part of the agreement would be like, yeah, Cleveland will pay $10 million or something. Who knows? Things like that happen all the time. In terms of cash owed, which is important, we always talk about the cap hit. These teams, these owners assign, hey, you can have this amount of cash flow this year. You guys figure it out, but we're not going over that number. This year it's $31.5 million. Player of his stature, not too much. 41.7 in 27, 24.8 in 2028, and then $40 million in each of the last 2 years when he's in his mid-30s. So those will be tough pills to swallow. But from a cap hit standpoint, the guaranteed money will be a little less, at least that last year too. You can kind of figure that out when you get closer. Now, here's what's important from the cap standpoint for the Bears or any other team that would trade for Myles Garrett. His cap hit next year is less than $20 million, 9.77 if the Bears were to trade for him. That is a very reasonable number. Now, it'll jump in 2027 and beyond. It'll get into the 30s, but still, for what he brings to the table, that's not too bad. And this first year, it's an excellent number for any team that were to trade for him. Now, bit of a challenge for the Browns because, A, they're still dealing with the Deshaun Watson contract. They got to figure out if they're just going to eat a massive number this year and not restructure him again, or if they're going to restructure that contract again. If they do trade Myles Garrett, the dead cap money goes up to $41 million from 23. So it would cost Cleveland an extra $18 million against the cap to get rid of him. Doesn't mean it can't happen. It means the trade's going to cost a lot. Not only because he's a special player, but they would be taking on a larger cap hit to get rid of him, which does not happen often. It could in this case because they could get a lot of assets to trade Myles Garrett. They could get good young talent. They could get draft picks. They could get both, probably would be both. So it would cost a ton for the Browns to even be interested. So let's just set that table for you guys before we actually explore maybe what a trade could look like. I've cooked up 3 trade ideas here. I'll tell you this, if the Bears make a big trade, we're going to go live. If they make a tiny trade, we're at least going to make a video. We got you covered on all things Bears here on Chicago Bears Now, so hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell so you know, A, when we go live, and B, when we drop new content. Okay, trade idea number 1. Bears get Myles Garrett and a 3rd-round pick back this year. Browns get 3 first-round picks. I could see Cleveland asking for 3 firsts. Now, if I'm trading 3 ones, which I really don't know if I can, as much as I would want Myles Garrett, that's a heavy pill to swallow. I at least got to get some kind of pick back. So I got to get a day 2 pick back. I get a third this year. That way I can, draft a couple guys, second, third round this year, maybe trade back from one of those picks, replenish some of that capital to at least give me more darts to throw during the NFL draft because, the later you go, the harder it is to hit, which is why first-round picks are incredibly valuable. So I'm not sure I could stomach that for an over 30-year-old player, even though he is arguably the best player in the league. But that is one just kind of simple trade package right there. 3 ones, Garrett, and a third back. Okay, 2 ones, your next 2 first, a third-round pick, and DJ Moore, which is he's probably worth like a 4th in a vacuum, 4th or 5th with his contract for Myles Garrett. 2 ones, third, and a 5th. We got a question in the chat about that much, and I kind of debated it. Well, I pretty much just did it, so I guess I would say yes to that deal. I'll say this too for Cleveland. If they want to lean into that offense more, Todd Monken, I think he's easily their wide receiver 1 based on what they currently have. Jerry Jeudy, give me a break. DJ Moore has flaws. He would be their best receiver. And if they keep Shador, if they go get a different quarterback, would be a nice weapon if they're trying to jumpstart that offense. And then trade idea number 3. Myles Garrett, 2 ones, a second next year. The last trade was a third this year. And Austin Booker. And you're saying, Harrison, is Austin Booker worth similar amount to DJ Moore? Clearly, DJ's a better player right now. But Austin Booker is cheap, and he's 23 years old. And it would give Cleveland a young replacement at the same position. So, don't jump on my back for being like, those trades look awfully similar, and DJ Moore is a much better player than Austin Booker. I agree, but the contract's a big part of it. DJ Moore has a lot of money left on his deal. Okay, so let's recycle through them. Myles Garrett and a third to Chicago for 3 first-round picks. That's trade idea number 1. Trade idea number 2, Myles Garrett to Chicago for 2 ones, a third this year, and DJ Moore. And then trade idea number 3, 2 ones, a second next year, and Austin Booker. Which trade do you like best? 1, 2, or 3? Let me know in the comment section down below. Feel free to fire off your trade ideas as well. We'll continue to monitor this. We'll see if Myles Garrett becomes available this offseason. If he does, I would at least expect a phone call from one Ryan Poles. We will have it all covered this offseason here on Chicago Bears Now, so subscribe and bear down.